Hello, and welcome back to Season 2 of Genshin Ranked. I'm your lead developer, Cuddles, and joining me on stage today is the lead organizer of the Cardi Cup series, Cardi herself, as well as our special guest, Kaizen, from the host of Kaizen's Co-op Wars. Hi, guys.
Hello. Thank you
Hi.
for having us.
Yeah. So,
What's
Cardi, for
going
those
on?
of those who are like unfamiliar with your content, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what your experience has been with the Genshin community.
Oh yeah, so I'm Carditas. I stream on Twitch as well. Mostly I've been hosting like Abyss speedrun tournaments before, known as the Cardi Cup. I've been very inactive with that for the past year, so sorry about it. But otherwise, I love watching any type of like PvP content, as you probably noticed from the tournaments. And I always love learning about like new team synergies and such. So I'm very excited to see how like a 3v3 co-op works.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you, and we're delighted to have you with us on our program today. So, you've been like part of the competitive community for a while, it seems.
Yeah, I would say about 3 years now.
Wow,
At
that's
least for
really impressive.
Genshin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, Kaisen, tell the community a little bit about yourself too.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? It's Kaizen here. So obviously, I am the founder and creator of Co-op Wars. There was a PvP, 3v, a PvP attorney that I did, before. Okay, you guys hear me? Sorry, I don't know. Oh, okay, I was like, why is my PNG not moving? Anyway, so yeah, so I was the host and the creator of Co-op Wars. It was a PvP tourney that I did back in October. It ran until November around there, and a lot of it similar to what we're doing now with Ranked here. It involves just 3 players beating a boss as quickly as they can. It's a little bit different. The format of the tourney is a bit different. The rules are different, but it's around the same idea if you break it down that way, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited to see this match, and I'm really glad I've seen. I remember when this server just started.
Yeah.
It's just incredible to see it grow. So yeah, I'm excited to see this match. I don't know, I'm hyped to see what these teams have to offer. I know these teams have practiced a long time for this, so I hope they're ready.
Absolutely.
That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
I mean, like, hey, some of these teams quite literally started like 10 months ago, or they started. Wait, actually, no, it's been more than 10 months. They started like more than a year ago, right? So these are
Oh my
3v3
god.
teams that have been, yeah, living together for a while almost in a way.
They've
But,
done their training arc already.
dude, they did their training arc. Kaizen prepared them well. What can I say? It's time to move on. And here we are tonight with Ranked. We got an amazing match between two very interesting teams that are going to be playing for us tonight. And let's take a look over at our bracket. So today we have Pixel Dismissal versus Very Scuffed Gamers. So both of these teams are fairly new to the scene, although I will say one of them has had a little bit more experience than the others. But tonight, their paths are going to cross, and they're going to face off in the semifinals and have a chance at the finals for $1,000.
Ooh, very exciting.
Yeah. And it means that at this point, they had to go through a challenging prelim set and then have to go through a round of 16. And even then, they still have to fight through a quarterfinals. But now, here they are. They're ready to take the stage and advance. So what we're going to be seeing here is we're going to have a little bit of a different rule set compared to what we've had previously. So if you have been familiar with Ranked before, you've probably been seeing that we do best of 7 boss speedruns. But because this is the finals, we're going to step things up a little bit. We are going to be moving into 2 best of 6 halves. So if you guys would like to see some of the rule pages, we have some more information here. So it's going to be a 3-player team plus sub. This is something that we've always been doing. And we start off with the draft. So they're going to be alternating their bosses and then move into character pick ban. And again, in order to win a boss, you need to actually just have a faster time on it. But if it gets close enough, we do video review. We do the video assisted referee. So we make sure that everybody gets the wins that they deserve. Afterwards, we'll switch sides at halftime. Team 1 that decides to go first is going to end up going second. And 1st to 7 is going to win. If it turns out to be a 6-6, we'll have a tiebreaker at the end to decide. And of course, world level 9, highest difficulty level. I'm sure many of you have experienced how tough it is when you're playing with C0 characters. But yeah, we're doing no funny business, no food, no silliness, just straight Genshin Impact gameplay. And you can't
Raw
heal either.
stats.
Yeah, I mean, it's raw stats too, but then also we have like a little balancing standpoint that we use for determining all the characters. The full description is in our Discord and also on the spreadsheet. So just join that link, bit.ly/Genshin Ranked, and you can find out a little more. All right. Are you ready to go into coin flip?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. So because Pixel Dismissal is the higher seed team, they will get to choose on their coin flip, and they decided to pick heads. All right, let's see what we got here for our coin. And surely, I mean, we haven't seen a team win a coin flip yet, so it'd be really interesting if Pixel Dismissal did. And it looks like they did. All right, and they have now, they decided to take team 2. So it's going to be interesting because now they have deferred the first pick of the boss draft to, they've deferred the first pick to VSG. So now we're going to see some interesting planning and some scheming that they're up to. All right. So whenever these teams are ready, they can go ahead and let's move on over to the drafting board. And it's really fun too. So we've actually had our own website for this, which is like what makes this really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks so clean right here too, because you also had the bosses available, and then the bands and picks from the side.
Yeah, so we'll like keep it really simple, really brief. So you're gonna see on the top side, you're gonna have your picks for characters, but we're gonna start out with a boss pick, and there they go. VSG opening with Legatus Golem, very heavy geo check, and Pixel Dismissal responds by insta-locking Gold Flame Kukasaur. So that's gonna be I think they already went with some pretty intense picks. Both of those are checks. I mean, you've got a Geo boss that requires Geo, and then you've got a Pyro boss, probably resistant.
Rune Serpent.
Yeah, Rune Serpent's interesting though. Its role has usually been to kind of be a DPS check that disrupts Arlecchino. And the reason for this is because Arlecchino loses Bond of Life if she switches regions. No. And then they followed, and was it Pixel Dismissal? After reading that Legatus Golem pick, they have decided to respond with EFG. And EFG, in its own right, is a pretty challenging boss. I mean, what is it? The entire intention of drafting EFG is to kind of like, it's a geo check. It's a geo counter. Because you have Golem, and then, what is it? EFG is just like very strong anti-geo. So.
Yeah, they're choosing a lot of hard picks already for the bosses. But I do have to say the Gold Flame Tyrant will be much easier in the open world compared to like inside Abyss or Theater from it seems like.
Yeah, it's much easier when you have 3 people too. You know, instead of taking a minute 30 to kill it, you take 30 seconds.
so the last 2 are going to be a Nemo Cube.
Yeah, it looks like Animo Cube is going to be one of the last picks. And to follow up with that, we have, I think that's Asimon. Yeah, Asimon, right? Yeah. So Asimon's a pretty nice DPS check for the most part. It's just, it stands still. I mean, the only thing that really checks for is Electro, but that's if you happen to have a bad team. And it looks like both of these teams are pretty confident. Yeah, banning Farina is already like banning out a pretty big support, pretty major support. So they've committed to that.
Would you guys say any new Natlan characters have been very important or restrictive for this tournament? Or any of like the boss fights?
I think with, for sure, Milani and Shalonin are very strong. Chaska, I think, is pretty alright, pretty decent where it is. Like a C0 Chaska is like pretty equivalent to C2R1 Kazuha, from what I understand. So it's like, it's pretty worth having those characters. I mean, Milani in and of herself, you know, she hits big numbers, right?
Yes.
And here we go, VSG opting for Farina and a Hida ban. Trying to limit as many of those options as possible.
I wasn't expecting that Chiori ban though, but then Farina and Nahida, oof, 2 strong Archons already gone.
Yeah, to be fair, this is kind of like, this is like a fingerprint almost of what Pixel Dismissal likes to draft. They like to leave all the options open. They just want to take away the very niche ones, right? So here's the thing.
Yeah,
yeah, because when you ban Chiori, right, you leave Navia open, but then the thing is, Navia can't really, who's gonna play with Navia, right?
Well, and then there is still like Albedo or Zhongli, but it's very hard to use those teams in a co-op.
Yeah. Fun fact, speaking of very hard to use them, Albedo is currently allowed at C6R5.
Oh shoot, well, who's gonna bust out the C6R5 Albedo then?
I need to say it now.
Anyways, yeah, wait, that's been a Bennett pick it looks like, so they're gonna go for that for a first choice. And Pixel Dismissal following up with a Shilonin. So they're going very support heavy right off the top of the draft.
Or Genshin supports basically carry the game. Oh, yeah, Cosmo.
Yep.
Oh, no, you're not.
Where's
Ooh, okay.
Kazuha?
So I think Kazuha's not really gonna show up just yet. I think they have Arlecchino still open on Team 1, right? They have Arlecchino, they have Ganyu. If they want to play Melt like that, they absolutely could. I'm thinking like Arlecchino Risley is also an option too if they want to do that. They have plenty of options for Melt, if I'm gonna be honest. Pixel Dismissal probably banking on getting a Novelette as the second Hydro, or they might take Arlecchino themselves if it's already picked. Because you're thinking about a 3-player team, right? So you want to have.
There you go.
Oh, but VSG decides to go for a counter pick instead.
Deny it. Yeah, I deny that double Hydro right there.
Yeah, denies a double Hydro, but I mean, they want Arlecchino, I guess. I mean, I feel like Arlecchino is just the must pick right here because if you don't grab it, I mean, okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Strong DPS, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to pick Kazuha here. Oh, no.
Yep,
They
there is the
insta-locked
Navia.
insta-locked Navia. They're really, really banking on that pick. So, again, I'm not sure if Geo is really the right move, but I mean, they got Navia to mess up VSG's attempts at Legatus Golem, though, because Navia Shalonen on Golem is pretty strong. I mean, you're already cutting that thing down with Navia, so I feel like that's going to be a free win for them, but they're going to have to figure out what they want to do for EFG. Oh, Pixel Dismissal banning out the Ganyu, making sure that VSG is not going to be able to get that free melt. But how will VSG fire back is the real question. Yeah.
I don't think a Kazuha ban would be too good here.
No.
Yeah, not exactly, but I mean, there's still plenty of options. Here's the thing. Ooh,
Oh,
they want to knock out
that's not
Milani.
that bad.
All right. But it's interesting, though, because Pixel Dismissal doesn't have a Pyro character to begin with, so I'm not sure if the Milani ban was necessary. Because I think VSG could have definitely kept the Milani for themselves. But who knows? I mean, they insta-log Raiden Shogun. I mean, that's, if you think about it, Raiden, Yelan, Shalonen, that's a Taser team right there. So maybe they're banking on that. Taser hasn't been super strong, but it is, for the most part, a possibility. I think there's definitely a chance.
Kazuha, yeah. That's insane. No Kazuha. I'm guessing Kazuha's not even that good for VP in that case if he hasn't been picked yet. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, right? They could honestly play Arlecchino, Bennett, Kazuha. Kaide has a C6, but you don't get Freedom Soren if you get C6. So I'm really curious to see if they're gonna take that Kazuha or not. It's like still a general.
Yep, there it is.
So Arlecchino, Bennett, Kazuha is actually like a relatively strong team, especially when you get full bond. So that's definitely an option if they want to go ahead and contest that DPS option. It's just a strong, safe core. I will say, though, they're going to lose out on Gold Flame, they're going to lose out on Golem, but they'll grab the other 4 bosses for that. So it might be worth the trade. Stealing that Novelette early might have been the move.
Maybe
but they still have one more pick, and I wonder what they're going to pick. Yeah, they could go Melt. That could definitely still be the option here. And they go for Chlorine instead. So Arlecchino, Bennett, Chlorine for an overload. That is going to be spicy. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Chavru's done. Yeah, Chavru's last pick, right? And I don't even know how Chavruz would be.
Chavru's in 4-player, even with the ref switching element to support her, has been pretty abysmal. I'm going to be entirely honest. I think
that makes sense.
I think the whole. there we go.
Oh,
Now locked. It's pretty good, to be honest.
All these strong DPS getting picked too.
Yeah, I mean, both teams could honestly go head-to-head. I will say Pixel Dismissal feels like they're slightly more flexible just because they have Yelan and someone that works with Yelan. Although, you could also make the argument VSG, they could play Novelette, Kazuha, Chlorine. And yeah, I think that's I think Novelette, Kazuha, Chlorine, definitely Taser. That's definitely something that's doable.
Dean, okay.
One team with with Bennett too. Jing on the right side on Pixel.
As last pick, I don't think it's Risley. I think the last pick is gonna be Risley.
I mean, it has to be right. Like you draft Bennett, you have to try a melt.
Lenny.
So we can go into some stats after these guys move into their prep phase. Actually, Day, if you would love to pull those up for us, we have some beautiful graphics here. So basically, regarding Pixel Dismissal, they have not really played any of our casual matches, so we don't have like full data on them. But I will say, Eliza is a Kaching C0 speedrunner, and she has been playing this game for quite a while, actually. So her mechanics on that character are actually really impressive. It's surprising that we didn't see the Kaching actually come out at all. But I mean, considering the way character metas have been going. I mean, C0 Kaching doesn't really hold up to the same strength that it used to, unfortunately.
Yeah, with all of the new 5-star limited characters coming out, a lot of the older standard 5-stars, it can barely put up to as a competition. They need a really strong team with it, but with this game mode where it counts every individual players, it seems kind of difficult to pull out a Kachin.
Yeah, and especially like here's something to consider too, that they banned Nahida. What's Kaching gonna play with, right? So immediately shut down that option. On the other hand, you have Drago, who, although he hasn't been putting on the strongest performance in casual, did manage to actually clutch a few rounds for his team as the last teammate alive on Risley, and actually did end up securing one of the match wins for his team. So he loves Risley. Yeah, I mean, having that self-sustain is nice too, but he showed some really good mechanics on Solani and kept himself alive. And yeah, and I think the last other thing to mention, Kiki, we didn't see that C6 Shao. I feel like Team 1 picking that Bennett really, unfortunately, took away the 4 years of experience that Kiki had on C6 Shao.
Oh no.
Yeah, but the thing is that her account was very diverse and well invested, so this kind of allows her to help anchor down most of the team.
Isn't she also a Linny main then, even if without a Zhao?
Yeah, so it's really surprising that, I mean, Joe Man himself, being a Linny main, managed to actually snipe that pick from them.
Oh,
so,
unfortunate.
Yeah, it is in fact unfortunate, but I mean, you know, when it comes down to a draft, like, you can never predict what the enemy team's going to take away from you, right? You just have to go with whatever's left. I feel like that's always what happens to any draft. Like, even as Team 1, you know, you still feel like you're limited in your options. So, things happen, man. But on the other side, some things that I would love to share about VSG. VSG has a lot of they have 2 veterans that are coming from the ranked / co-op experience as well. So Joe Man is a Linny one trick. He is I would love to showcase his showcase his accomplishments on both Linny and Navia, which is why I think they've decided to ban out the Navia, but leaving the Linny open was an interesting choice with Bennett open as well, but, you know, go figure. I'm pretty sure they're thinking of something. Again, there's Kaide with that C6 Kazuha, as well as, like, probably the most diverse account on this entire team. She has, like, a lot of C2, C3 characters that are going to come into play, and that Risley...
C6 Kazuha, though.
Yeah, I know. C6 Kazuha is interesting because, like, you know, I think the individual DPS contribution from it is why we can't allow it to have Freedom Sworn, because it's just being able to constantly swirl instead of only being limited to 2 swirls and an ult. That really makes Kazuha like way stronger than he normally would be. On the other side, Prongle and Swezzy are 2 new members to VSG and 2 new members to our draft as well. So I did want to mention that they are here for the first time on stage, but they will still be playing in this semifinals match. Yeah.
Good luck to all the players. This is going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think for what it's worth, I think VSG and Pixel are actually quite evenly matched against each other. Considering like their overall win rates in casual is really funny because everybody like screws around. Everyone like always messes around in casual, but as it turns out, when it gets to the tournament and you organize yourself with a team, you know, you start actually playing way better than you normally would. So
not locked in.
Yeah, you lock in when these numbers are showing, so there's nothing to really complain about. Any predictions in the chat, like for the first half, like out of 6, you know, what do you think the scoreline would be? I think I'll post, or was it? I'll go with my prediction first. I think it could be 3-3 half. I'm not even gonna lie. I think the 3-3 half has been very entertaining for first side, and then I think the second half is still up for debate. They still haven't picked Eon Blight Drake, which is the default boss that everybody has been used to practicing on, so it gets a little interesting. I'm gonna see how, we'll just have to see how things go. But let's go ahead and also take a look at the prep phase going on for everybody right now. Because this is where all the little behind the scenes action, I guess you could say, is.
And how long do they have to prepare?
They have 5 minutes to prepare.
Not bad.
Yeah, and then they also have another 2 minutes to gather energy. and full recharge will assist them with the energy recharge process. It's very entertaining, believe it or not. But yeah, looks like, wow, Kaide, so Kaide, Swazi, and Joe-Man have opted to play mono pyro, but like mono pyro. You know
so
that?
Bennett to support both Arlecchino and Lenny.
Yeah, Bennett's literally like the father there.
Who's the
Bennett's
real
actually
father in
secret
this
patchouli
family?
as well.
Oh, fun fact, by the way, Swazi's playing for Australia. So this bracket has narrowed down to NA. There have been EU, there have been Asia teams, but NA has actually come out on top. But it's really funny because some of the NA teams just have Australians on them. This isn't even the only team that has just an Australian. I mean,
looking at the red ping right now.
Yeah, so it's really interesting that this works. But I mean, hey, these still playing well. I mean, as long as you just get your ults down on time, especially with Bennett. But I think for the most part, these guys should not worry about energy cycling at all. If you play with triple pyro, you're pretty much guaranteed to get ult for every single rotation. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, already that assignment was deleted in less than 4 minutes. And that's only for practice one, right? It wasn't counting for the official, or?
Oh, yeah, so right now they're just doing a little bit of practice, trying to mess around, trying to figure out what they're gonna do. But I mean, like, here again, like, Pixel, they got that Navia Shalonen, and if, like, they want to go on Golem, you know, they can all in on it. They grab it for free, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, Pixel's gonna be so good against those Geo enemies.
So, like, you really just have to, like, kind of wonder, like, what's gonna happen? It's not like, super clear, right? It's not a... I don't think it's, like, a set and done outcome for either team.
And so for this, since they chose 6 characters, do they have to stick with only those 6, correct? But for the first half, they will only use 3?
So, no, for the first half, they are still allowed to draft 6 characters, but they'll be switching between... Each player has 2 characters they can switch between. And this is just to prevent, like, Genshin's mechanics of elemental checks just completely screwing over one team. So this gives people some flexibility. But speaking of flexibility, they better get that kill. Oh, I don't think they did. So, yeah, pretty much, I think if we have Joe-Man on Linny, Kaide on Arlecchino, and Swazi on Bennett, they're going to be able to play those characters and swap freely between them, although you don't really want to switch off Arlecchino, because you want to keep that bond.
Oh,
I'll just get wiped?
Yeah,
I didn't even realize.
They got wiped during practice run, but...
Wow.
Yeah.
Against
hopefully that doesn't happen during the real run.
Yeah, Animo keeps an aggressive boss, man. If they're not fully committed to the all-in, or if they're like a little... I don't know, it's just like... It's a very risky boss to try and all-in if you don't have the true DPS for it. I'm going to be really curious what they're going to have to do.
I guess they have ranged units, it's not that bad.
And on the right, you will see Nivelette energy farming in VV domain.
Yep.
It's so easy to get energy.
I mean, like, it's actually perfect though, because like, what is it? It's like a little call timer too, because everybody kind of has to. They see the announcement on their screen, and be like, "Hey, it's time to get energy. Let's go." But yeah, so it's good. I think for the first 2 picks, I think it's gonna go in favor of Pixel, but I think VSG can definitely carry it away. Going through Ruined Serpent, going through EFG, Animo Cube, Asimon, those are pretty easy DPS strikes that they have quite a lot of teams for. But yeah, I don't know, Kaizen. Versus like the previous co-op wars, like what was it that you did in terms of like character selection? Because was it like everybody got 2 characters to play as well or something?
It was actually no, it was more like you just do it based off whatever limits they are, basically. So, for example, at least in the first round, it was random. But after the first round, players can choose like, hey, like I have 4-star characters, or like female characters, or characters from a certain region, or not, or banned of characters from a certain region. My bad.
Oh,
stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Was it like per boss? Oh, something like that. It was like per boss.
Yeah, it was per boss. Yep, it was per boss.
Yeah, right. Like the restrictions would change depending on the boss you would play. I remember that.
Yep.
I just remember it was your tournament that made me resin refresh Noblesse domain for Bennett for 2 months as a free to play.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It was
worth Noblesse domain takes me back, man. It takes me back. Good old days.
Yeah. I mean, Noblesse is no longer BIS on anyone like except Bennett, maybe Shenhe.
Yeah. it's crazy how back then every character had either 4-piece noblesse or 2-piece noblesse or something. It was
Hey,
insane.
elemental burst damage plus 20 goes a long way. What can I say?
Yeah,
I still use
especially before
noblesse right
Emblem
now.
came out.
Yeah, it's still
Yep.
good. You just gotta find
Free
an
emblem
attack
based.
scaler that loves it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, looks like they're gonna try Taser for that first half. They're saving that Arlecchino, from what I can tell. No complaints against it. I mean, you got Joe Man on that Lenny Novelette, you got Kaide on Arlecchino Krauso, and you got Swazi on Bennett and Chlorind.
Yeah, that was a C1 Clarin too from the quick check that we saw.
Yeah, I mean, it's some good damage. I think right now C1 Chlorind's gonna be on 4-star weapons because I think like her Fontaine character's DPR is just kind of insanely high. So you're gonna see, I think, both Novelette and Chlorind on slightly neutered builds, but it still should be pretty effective. I mean,
Yeah, that'll still work. I mean, a lot of Fontaine characters have good self-sustain too. Like they could heal themselves back, as we see from Novelette. Kazuha is really there just for, you know, support swirl. Gonna
yeah,
be
I mean,
hard.
you would think like Kazuha is like one of the easier characters to play, but he's one of those characters that actually comes with a lot of responsibility. I mean, your one
Oh,
job
yes.
is to swirl, but if you don't happen to land that swirl, thankfully Kaide gets a Hydra one on there. Looks like they're gonna try and back it up a little bit. I don't know. I think they're playing this one pretty slow. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
entirely
they're
honest.
trying to go safe because we see the Kazuha hopping in and out from that, and then Chlorine and the Novelette with the slow charge.
Yep. I mean, like, whatever taser damage they can get is going to be fine. I think
Mhm.
VSG is very well aware that they don't have the advantage going to Legatus Golem, so I think it's a perfectly reasonable choice. Ooh, Chlorind
Ooh,
playing
oh
aggressive,
no!
and unfortunately,
Chlorine's
Swazi's going to
gone.
already go
no.
down. Trying to take
That
shots
is
from
a
the
yikes.
outside, but
Oh, and
yeah.
wait, is Novelette
Kazuha's on
down
life
too?
support.
Wait, no one is also down. That's leaving Kaide
That's
as
a
Kazuha.
Wow.
Oh, this is not an optimal situation right here for VSG, because here's the thing, right? Kaide also needs to get her ult back if she wants to keep playing,
Oh my
but
God,
I'm
nice
not sure if
dodge,
they're
though.
gonna. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
able to.
the
honestly.
only character that's the only character that probably would have really screwed them over. I mean,
Yeah.
if there was only one left, 'cause I feel like if it was Solo Chlorine or Solo Novelette, they could have handled that. But Solo Kazuha, you don't really have that much damage.
so they
output.
definitely don't
Oh.
have any real intention of finishing this one out, so that's perfectly fine by me. But okay, there we go. Kaide gets ult, and she's gonna have to back. There's no way that she's gonna stay in the fight. And there's the DNF call at 1 minute 44. So unless for whatever reason, Pixel manages to die in 1 minute 44, then they pretty much have this one in the bag. This is gonna be pretty much a free point to them, but we just have to see. You know, you can never call it
Such
too
an
early.
unlucky timing.
It happens. It happens. But again, like
Yeah, don't jinx it, guys. Don't jinx it. Let's just let it play out.
surely, right? But here they go. I mean, like whenever they're ready. I think they're also taking a little bit of time just to be comfortable too, because Eliza is playing with a medical debuff right now, so hope she gets well soon.
Oh no.
Yeah, I really do hope that she does get well soon.
But here we go anyways, as we are going to be starting our match right now. Pixel has decided to ready up after taking a little bit of their break. And Yalan goes for the entry, doesn't go for an E yet, actually goes for an ultimate, but misses the ultimate actually, so gonna just follow up on the normal attacks. Doesn't really matter though when your entire team is playing Geo and you're kind of just shredding the boss, so.
Yeah, that
And
shield
there we
is going
go.
down fast.
Thank you, Navia.
Yeah,
thank you,
it's going
Shalonen.
down.
And oh, everybody takes a little bit of damage, but Shilo, thankfully,
Shiloh
the
can
healer of
heal
the
too,
team.
yeah, totally
Yeah.
fine.
Just a very safe pick. It's like a healer version of Kazuha.
Yeah, I think this, like, everyone always compare Kazuha and Shilolin with their buff too, but Shilolin actually is able to heal her party members, and that was already a fast clear of the first boss already.
Yeah, 3327 is actually a really fast clear. I mean, again, you have
Strong
Navia though, so
start.
you're able to take advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, Pixel getting that first flag up on their side. So,
Nice.
and also, I wonder if they're gonna still play this Taser team as a gold flame though. I mean, Jovan and Swazi both being on such low HP is gonna be a bit of a challenge. We'll just have to see how that goes.
All
I
right.
don't know. I think part of it
Everyone's
too
life
is-
support.
Yeah, Swazi also needing some internet support, unfortunately, because playing from Australia on an NA server is quite a challenge. So hopefully he's going to be able to land this dodge for the first time. Gold Flame, thankfully, stands still for this first part, so it should be pretty easy, but oh, they actually did manage to get that first dodge, and I think from here it should be good here on out. Kaide wanting to sit back a little bit, aware of the aggression of this boss. I think Swazi and Kaide unfortunately goes down and gets picked.
Oh, yikes.
But here we go. And
These two should still be able to DPS it down, but maybe still a little bit slow.
yeah, that's
Kazu's
definitely what
really the
I'm
only one
reading
who-
at right here. But here we go.
I can definitely handle no Kaza here.
Nibble with the burst as Swazi is being chased down, but there we go. Gets the gun up, back on target right now, and is able to close out Gold
Probably
Flame.
gonna save up her own burst too.
Oh,
no!
Oh, that is
yikes.
That's
a
so unlucky.
that's a situation right there. I wonder how they're gonna play around it. I feel like in this situation, you know, you're on enough HP. You both heal yourselves, right? I would just,
Oh no.
oh, Joe man, you gotta be careful there. They do manage to land a few hits. Thankfully, the mobility from both Clorind and Nivelette is quite cinematic. Unfortunately, Nivelette's gonna go down.
God, Nivelette on like
or
1
barely.
No,
HP.
Novelette's still alive. Novelette's literally like a
Hey, you know,
frame.
he's probably
Pixel
living on
from
like
Kazu.
2,000 HP because it's Nivelette. Yeah.
But I
Like,
think
play
he
home
missed
for
the
Pixel
E
HP
and
left.
wasn't able to heal back.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Gold Flame actually get to this point, by the way, in a ranked match. But there we go. They knock it down, and they call that timer at 1 minute 29. Joe Man now on half health, Swazi without an ultimate. But it's
Wow.
just the sacrifice they had to make, right? So maybe they'll have something ready for second half on their team too.
I mean, so far, this team looks a lot stronger in comparison. I think it's just with the extra healer. Even with the versus 2 Fontaine self-sustain, you still have to know the mechanics on when to dodge instead of just face tanking.
Absolutely. It's not really super straightforward, but no, I think they can manage as it is. Here we go again. Yelan gonna open up with that E. Actually lands it this time, and Navia's shotgun goes off, so does Yelan ultimate. And they are keeping that damage very concentrated. Shiloh gets tied a little bit, but that's not really gonna matter when your Navia's doing 6-digit damage. So very impressive plays right here. I mean, just look at how fast they're chunking this thing down. I mean, only in the span of like 20 something seconds, they've already cut down Gold Flame to 0
Wow,
HP.
24.
Yeah, they came ready.
Absolutely melted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Very. I mean, it looks pretty good overall. I mean, just good starts all around, I think. Yeah, I just think Pixel has a good foundation going into this. They only really need one more boss win if they want to say that they've got this half secured.
I mean, Pixel did beat the first seed though, so
Yeah, I mean, they
proven
cook.
themselves so far.
They're proving themselves. Even though they're new to the competitive scene, I think they have just great players. So, for what it's
So-
worth.
So
Yeah.
now they are switching over to their second team, right, for the second half of the bosses?
No, so we're still in the first half of play. It's just that they've just elected to try using their second characters.
Oh, I see. So this is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mono Pyro team.
Yeah, I guess they gotta keep Kaide on Arlecchino, so they're not gonna get a nice Kazuha Bennett spread either, but it's a sacrifice they're gonna have to make. And I mean, to be fair, this team's still cutting some pretty nice numbers. I mean, Arlecchino finally can absorb that bond, and there we go. Now that's what we expect out of Arlecchino damage. Not all the way to halfway though. Oh, they got it. So it is
Yeah,
going to be a
that's
little
so
more than
much.
halfway. Linny fires off a charge attack, misses it, but the cat connects a shot. And now, as it heads back up, Bennett drops that ultimate down. Arlecchino's on field, and so is Linny, and everybody's going to get their DPS where they want it. Linny ultimate for that kill secure, and they just barely get him with Arlecchino's at 31.91. So that's a really good clear, really fast time. Very impressive
this is a
overall.
must win. I think this
Very
is a
big
must win
difference.
for them.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is. I mean, I think as long as they secure this win, it should be pretty smooth from here on out. So it's just whatever Pixel Dismissal is going to do. I wonder if they're going to keep that Geo team, though. It's safe, but I don't think it's going to clear in 31 at that same pace. So,
I mean, so
I
far
mean,
they seem to have a very good lead, though,
Mhm.
from the first 2 bosses already.
yeah, they can play very confidently, you know.
Yeah.
They don't need to like worry about playing aggressive. They don't need need worry about like all inning. I think if they want to sacrifice this boss, just gather energy, HP even, like that's just an option, you know. For what it's worth. And just make sure everybody is ready and alive. And here we go as we enter onto the field. Sheila opens with E, Yelan opens with E, and there we go. We already got some early geo damage going, as well as a heal coming for Shalonen, and then there's going to be a Q, E coming for Navia too. Excellent, just early phase damage right now. Interesting deciding that they want to use Navi's ultimate this early. I wonder if that's going to come back to bite them later when they don't unfortunately have the shotgun shells for it. But here we go. Pops off a 191 into Rune Serpent, and I think it's not going to be a 31-second clear, but it's going to be fast. I mean, this is not a slow clear at all by any means. Drago unfortunately went for that ultimate and did not make it connect. So now it's going to be a little bit of a challenge as they try to finish this off, but they should still cycle this on this run, and that's going to be about a 42-second clear.
Not bad, yeah. And Elon got her burst up too, so not a bad run, even though they lost it.
Yeah. So that's going to be the first green flag coming for VSG. But as they head over to EFG, I think this experimental field generator, I think this should give them a little bit of a chance as well. So sometimes we have unintentional false starts by ref because this boss is just a little picky sometimes. So
we just got to get the good angles down.
Yeah.
The classic Tartaglia.
Yeah, it happens. No worries. But yeah, I mean, VSG, right? They just have to push through with EFG, and then they'll basically tie up the half as it is at 2-2, and then they're just really one away, right? They're only missing like one more boss in addition to this. And here we go. As everybody locks in, we're gonna go ahead and start their match.
They are going to be able to start off with a Bennett burst. That's going to be very beneficial for extra damage.
Beneficial.
And then
Beneficial,
as
the
well.
next one.
Yeah. Oh, everyone gets staggered a little bit right there. That might cost them a little bit of time, but we'll see whether or not EFG likes that.
Oh,
yeah, EFG did not like that. So that
Whoa.
stagger is going to be a little suboptimal for VSG. Yeah, as long as nobody dies here, but they decide to commit to the all-in. Joe Man goes down, unfortunately, decide to grab that cat a little too early.
Oh, no.
And Kaide and Swezzy still on field trying to clutch it up for their teammate. Kaide goes down now, and it's up to Swezzy on the tiniest bit of HP. Bennett with the clutch, and Swezzy clutches it up at 34.
Wow. That's wow.
That was looking way too scary with both of their main DPS down. But you know, Bennett,
yeah,
the game as usual. Okay.
Bennett, the
I mean,
original Pyro Archon.
It's true. I don't know if the next Pyro Archon can ever compare to
Rata
Bennett.
who? I mean, Mabuika who?
Mabuika who? So now it looks like Pixel switching over to the Taser team, hopefully trying to squeeze out a little more DPS and trying to counter that Geo Shred. The 34 seconds is going to be a little bit of an interesting time to beat. I mean, Rainer Shogun's ult is only there for 7 seconds, right? So you got to make that damage count. Absolutely. And here we go. I think as the teams have now decided to ready up, and I think they're going to be starting pretty soon as well. There we go. And Riding goes for early E. Shalom gets that pop for first scroll shred. Yalan not using his E now, but now manages to land that ultimate. And here we go. Here's like the 7 seconds of uptime. This is where Raiden has to concentrate all of that damage. Drago trying to get those cancels out just as effectively as he can. And they do it fairly well, but it is going to cycle into that next phase. So here we go. This is where it's going to get close, right? Because both of these teams really want to kill this thing as soon as possible. Shiloh taking a little bit of a hit, but I think Drago and Eliza playing a little more conservatively, although Drago does get staggered a little bit. That's not going to be a 34-second clear, though. I think for what it's worth, Pixel Dismissal, they're going to have to just go for energy and go for a save here. And that big hit is coming, but I'm not sure if they're aware. Eliza and Drago, though, both managed to tank it, thanks to the help of the girl from Natlin, Shalonin, keeping those HP bars all nicely topped up. So that's going to be a second win right there. And now, here we go. The half is tied once more.
Nice. Nice job from VSG to respond back to PXL after those first two losses.
Yeah. I mean, this half so far is working as it is, right? So, okay, Animo Cube now. So this is an interesting situation to be in as a VSG. Remember, you just died to this earlier using your full ult rotation.
That was only practice run. They learned since then, right?
Yeah, surely.
They're gonna need to to not die, hopefully.
I mean, yeah, they're all within threshold. Bennett low enough in threshold as well, because I think like unless you're playing a healer build, he's only sitting at what 16k HP. So Animo Cube, world level 9, easily grabs your whole HP bar if you're going to aggress it.
It does have burst up, but yeah, I think they'll be
Yeah.
fun. You should at least
Absolutely.
survive it.
But here we go. There's the full readies, and it's only up to the ref now to start match. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Close the Lenny just in case. The Nemo hypostasis decides to go up in the air.
You know, fun
Snipe
fact,
it.
you can play VV on this boss.
Yeah, you could just reverse VV.
Yeah, it's a reverse VV, but I wonder if anyone of the teammates is actually going to do it because it is like such a massive DPS advantage to have that VV. But no, Swazi telling the whole team to play safe. Actually, they get pretty nice grouping for this, and I think they might be able to close it in within this window. Again, they
good
played with a
crits
different
all
aggro strat, and
around.
good crits is the
Oh.
right term because now they're going to ascend into this phase, and I think their pacing is just much better than it was last time around. Would you
Oh
say?
yeah, it's so much faster.
I mean, you
But
haven't
this is
seen a
such
team
a
like this.
stall. Yeah, this is such
Yeah.
a stall boss as well.
Definitely pace locked for sure. Animo Cube, when people draft it, they're not really drafting it with the intent of like winning it per se.
Yeah.
They're drafting on the intent of killing the other team. But VSG outmaneuvered beautifully well. Joman gets actually one shot off while it's in the air, lands
Wow,
the second
that
one
was-
too, and
There
executes it
is.
early with the 48. So not an optimal clear time. I think like a perfect clear time on this is 40 exact. But hey, they'll take 48 considering that nobody died.
I think it worked out really well, especially since like Linea's chargers are just auto locked on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Like you have the Grimmalkin cat there just ready for you. So
Mm-hmm.
it does manage to work out quite well, if I do say so. But here we go. Now it's going to be Pixel Dismissal's turn, as they are struggling to get a nice camera angle for this boss because Genshin Impact unfortunately doesn't have a spectator mode, so we'll make the best of what we have. There we go.
Oh, wow.
All right, all things are settled in. Drago, Eliza, and Kiki are gonna go ahead, get their ready up done, and I think it's nice too because even if Eliza is a little sick, it does help that they get the extra time by going second. Here we go. I mean, any predictions though on this one?
I feel
I actually do think I'll let Cardi go first.
I was gonna say the Pyro team looks so strong right now ever since they switched it up. So it's gonna be very I feel like it might be difficult for the Geo team to catch up. But, I mean,
Yeah,
we'll
no-
see. Go ahead, Kaiser.
Oh, a little bit of bad communication, but they managed to get that. Sorry, Kaiser, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
think the Pyro team is gonna do a better job. Though I think they could have cleared after they collected the
Ooh.
Nemo orbs. They could have cleared a little bit faster, but the Navi is almost dead.
Oh,
Yo,
the
everybody
Alonso
almost dead.
Yeah,
They
see,
might need to
Shilone's
just
gotta
burn that.
heal.
They might need to just use that Shilonen ultimate now. I'm gonna be honest.
Kilo's got to heal up. The
Yeah, I think
Navi
it's
and
just.
Elan or not?
I think
You
it's a
might want to
birth commit.
save it though, because they're so close to killing it right now.
Yeah, but I think if they kill it now, they might be able to get some energy back. Anyways, I don't know. That's just my thinking, but that's definitely not 48. And I think the next green flag again going back up for VSG. So now it's gonna be 3-2
Yeah, wow.
towards VSG.
There you
And there
go.
we go. Double E's and 55-53 is gonna set the
Three in a
pace
row.
for Pixel.
3 in a row for VSG. Nice.
Wow, the
Mhm.
comeback.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that Arlecchino Linny duo is just so strong, and then now you throw in a Bennett buff on a Pyro team,
Mhm.
like it's just so spicy.
That Bennett first pick was really, really beneficial for him.
And here we're gonna definitely see it again. Swazi gonna be the goat carrying on Bennett right now, and Joe Man pre-stacking that Grimmalkin cat. And here they go. Kaide with the entry gets the Arlie stack up and early. And this is going to be really nice because it does give them quite a bit of spacing to work with.
Wow, that
Again,
damage.
it's
Oh
just
my God.
fast. Right?
Yeah,
and look at
that,
this. They're
wow.
positioned optimally too. Linny able to get his
Avoiding
perfect
everything.
charged attack rotation off, not having
It
to
doesn't
worry
go
about damage in the
invisible.
slightest. And they don't clear sub 20, but they do grab a 24, which is
Wow.
a really nice time to be getting an
Nice.
Asimon. So again,
Yeah,
Linny
no
Arlecchino
invisibility.
Bennett is like a team you never should be letting through, but I don't know. Maybe Pixel was planning on the checks working out for them. But this is the last boss of the half, so Pixel is either gonna have to end this 3-3 or maybe they end up ending it 4-2. I don't know. I'm hoping for them that they manage to get it even.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that triple Pyro is clearly like to make it is giving them, amazing fucking clears. I mean, amazing clears.
Is that C6 but not 2? It should be, right?
Yeah, it is. It's C6. Most people C6 their Bennett's at
At
this
this
point in the
point.
game.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're a family friendly channel here, guys. Remember that.
Yeah.
Don't.
It's not just being family friendly, Kaizen. It's called being professional.
Exactly.
But here we go.
Sometimes
These
it
are
just comes
teams.
out.
These are teams trying to lock it in on field, and there we go. There's a Rhino ultimate, and they get a little bit of a slash damage in, so that's going to be kind of nice. Drago being able to contribute a little more than just a few ticks, but yeah, it's just not the same pace, man. And VSG basically take this one, and they're going to be starting that second half 4-2. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of how Pixel's going to end up clearing this. But I mean, they do have Raiden for it, so
4 in a
they're going to
row,
knock
yeah,
down the constructs, but then they can just peek at Asmon, basically. They get that Electro on there, and it should. There we go. Snap down the turrets. And
Using
yeah.
a long burst and probably just have to save energy for the next round.
Absolutely. But hey, we'll take what we've got here. I mean, Pixel not starting with a negative, or not starting terribly negative, rather. Only down 4-2. Could still definitely come back from that.
And it's interesting too because VSG's I think Pixel, I don't think they've lost any characters at all. VSG lost multiple characters, and they're actually up 4-2 right now. So this goes to show, like, maybe taking a little bit more of a risk is helping them out.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, it was worth it just because of the boss list. I mean, in our previous match, semifinals, we saw a team get squad wiped entirely. They got nuked in one hit.
Which
but
one? Which boss?
The Sanus Travelers got nuked by Automaton. It was probably the only like squad wipe we've seen like in one hit in ranked like tournaments or whatever. But it was really interesting. They were still able to come back from it because their team leaders stayed cool, told them to just heal up, told them to just gather energy, and then they attacked the last two bosses to win the match. So it's still like, again, like in this situation, right? You might have a bunch of deaths, you might have a little bit of a shortcoming early, but you can still make it out. And I think that's what VSG has demonstrated to us today. So we're going to have to go into the second half right here as we're ready to just chill for a little bit as it's halftime.
I'm just so surprised by like the comeback of VSG. All they had to do was switch the team, get Arlecchino, Lynette, Lenny together, and they just breeze through the rest of the bosses.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like, it's just, it's the right move, you know? You gotta just kind of sacrifice the early, sometimes you just have to sacrifice those early wins, you know? Like, you know what you win, right? So sometimes it's just not worth the struggle to push it too hard.
Oh, definitely.
Anyways, yeah, we're going to be sitting here in halftime as we load up into our new draft. This time around, Eliza will be drafting as Team 1. Showman will be drafting as Team 2. And we'll be giving them a little bit of time to think about their draft.
They gotta strategize again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. What would you guys do if you were in this situation? You're Pixel, right? You're down 2-4. What kind of picks are you going for? Any ideas?
I mean, seeing how many enemies there are, like the bosses to choose from, and what could be good, it's so hard to decide. Because you have to know your own roster and also your teams and see what could DPS down, but you'll never know what they will also ban from your own end.
Yeah, I think the best way to go about that is because you have like the boss pick first, right? So I think if you select these bosses where everybody needs a certain character, right? You can't just have it banned outright from both sides. Like maybe everybody needs Bennett, or like maybe everybody needs Shilonen for this boss for whatever reason, right? So that means it just becomes a matter of prioritizing that character, you know, and seeing where it slots into the draft. But it's a very intense mind game. It's definitely not easy by any means to come up with what to do on the spot.
Yeah, I thought the Geo team would have had an advantage as first, considering, you know, against the Golem and such. But with the other bosses selected, they were slightly falling behind afterwards.
Yeah, it's not like the greatest setup that they could have had. I mean, like that Na'Vi team is strong, but it's not
But
like
it's
Arlecchino Linny
situational,
levels of
yeah.
strong, you know.
Yep.
So it's a give and take, right? But it's very safe. You saw like they didn't have to worry about deaths anywhere nearly as much as VSG did. I mean, they died on EFG almost, but if it wasn't for Swazi clutching it up, then they
Yeah,
could
that
have
Bennett,
easily
my
lost.
God, that
Yeah.
Bennett really helped them out there. It could have been 3-3 right now, otherwise.
Absolutely.
They have a two win cushion right now, so they better not squander it. Hopefully.
Yeah. I wonder. Here's the thing, right? Because you can really abuse that 2-win cushion. I mean, you saw. So last match, the Saints Travelers were up 5-3, and then when they died collectively, they used all 3 of those. What was it? Because they're down 5-3. They ended up getting 5-6, but they still managed to come back from that because they again knew what they were going to win. They knew where they were going to win in overtime. So it's about kind of just playing to your strengths in this instance.
Yeah, I definitely think that PXL should start off with a win. I think that first boss, they should definitely win that one. I think that's a must win for them, honestly, because they go down 5-2. I mean, that's kind of brutal for them.
Yeah, going down 5-2 especially is like it gets really intense too because then it becomes only need like 2 more wins. Right, like it's about that disparity, I guess.
The pressure. It's like the mind games. Once you have such a wide like lead or behind, it kind of starts messing with your mental too.
Absolutely, but I think both of these teams by now, I feel like they actually have much stronger mental than when they first started.
That's good.
Yeah, because like I think for example, like one of our teams was it I think Touchgrass together. I would say that their mental fortitude before playing the season, like individually, it was not anywhere near the level as it is today because they were able to they held their own against an undefeated team and almost came out on top. Like that's like some really impressive like individual growth that you have to have. So it's really cool because it really rewards that in a lot of players here in Ranked.
It reminds me of like the team camp trainings. Where they have to build friendship or like
literally, for it. Because like if you don't have that synergy, like if you aren't familiar with your teammates, then it becomes really hard to not be frustrated at each other when you mess up, right? Everybody's bound to mess up at some point, but it's just a matter of how you take that loss. And I think VSG, having been together for pretty long, right? Because you have 2 Season 1 veterans, and these guys, of course, being the team they are, they're like, hey, it's okay if we take that loss, It's okay if we're not winning the Taser teams because we know we'll win the next 4, and they won the next 4. Very impressive cohesion, and even the death on EFG, right? Like they held themselves together and they were ready for it.
I think one thing, like what you mentioned before, having a good team leader like that to kind of motivate, support the team, even if they are looking at like a losing game, it will change up like everyone's attitude. That's so amazing.
It's so worth it, honestly. I think it's probably like my favorite part. Yeah, like if you don't have like that motivation to keep going, you instantly lose. Because here's the thing, right? I know I yap a lot. This is a theory that I am very convinced exists. I call it the mental HP bar. Okay, so you have your in-game HP bar, right? But there's a second HP bar to your mental HP, right? If you take a lot of mental damage super easily, that mental HP bar disappears, and the second that bar hits 0, you instantly lose. You forfeit, you quit, or you just like stop playing altogether.
Real.
Right?
That's so real, yeah.
I wonder if VSG is going to throw something in Pixel's way where it's just going to do a lot of mental damage. I feel like getting Arlecchino Lenny Bennett, that actually is quite a bit of mental damage in my opinion. Like if I saw that I let that team through, I'd be like, man, that's a real hard one to come back from, right? But here, it's halftime. Pixel gets a nice refresher. Everybody can kind of think on their feet again and be like, okay, what is that we're going to be doing next?
So for their next draft... Oh, sorry, Kaisen.
Yeah, it's okay, yeah.
So quick question then. So for their next draft, they can't use any of the same characters from their first one, right?
They can use the same characters. They can't use the same bosses. So the map changes, but the idea of the draft is still identical. I think it's just much easier to keep track of that too, because losing 18 characters in a game where there's only like 90 is kind of scuffed.
Oh, that's true. Then maybe we might see like a Arlecchino ban this time around?
I would definitely bank on an Arlecchino ban. I don't think either team.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
now that Pixel saw that, they're either grabbing it for themselves or VSG's gonna be like, nope, you guys can't have this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
true.
So I don't know. It could be a little spicy.
Counter
see how that
the
goes.
net ban.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
well,
VSG
looks
right
like
now.
they're ready to start, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and begin our. Looks like they're beginning the match.
Let's see.
Here we go. Onto the draft board now. And again, with that fearless boss in mind, the bosses have now started. Eliza deciding within the first 30. Locks in Drake.
Oh, there is
Back
a
to old reliable. I mean, they practice so much on it, right? They're familiar with the program. They know how it's going to work. So, nothing to worry about right there. VSG Joe Man is typing in our setup chat. He is going to draft Pot of Greed to draw 2 more cards from his deck. That is a very interesting move. I'll be very interested to see how that plays out for VSG. Anyways, here we go. I think they're hovering over their pick, and they ultimately decide on the Tenebrious Pepilla.
I hate that new enemy so much.
It's just so unfun. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
and,
PMA?
oh, they immediately fire back with PMA. Pixel,
Yeah.
okay, here's what I'm thinking. I think Pixel's going for DPS checks. I think that's like the
Mhm.
most efficient thing that they could be doing right now.
Yeah, I think that's
PMA
very
is
smart.
annoying. PMA is really annoying, especially with the RNG with the little minions.
Oh, that's true. And they have that stall at like the half phase? No, 1/3.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
enemy.
That's
Swanny's
definitely
not bad.
something they're gonna have to be thinking about too. And then Swanee coming up means that they're probably gonna be going for some.
Oof.
Electro
Electrode.
Cube.
Yeah, that Electro Cube's also a really interesting choice. That's gonna boil
Yeah.
down to RNG. I think that's a Pixel Dismissal pick for sure. But it's interesting, right? Because you know Pixel's down 2 to 4 already, right? They know they went in their first pick. They picked
Mhm.
Drake, right? And if they pick Drake, which is like the boss that everybody's practiced so much, they're saying, hey, we will contest you on the DPS. We will contest you on the 1-to-1. Come get us. And I
That's
think that is a
true.
very interesting bet to make. So whatever these bans are going to be targeting a lot of DPS stuff. Yeah, that. And again,
Chaska.
Pixel going with the Chaska
Chaska.
knockout.
Understandable.
People
she
really
is
like
very strong.
Chaska. I mean, wow.
Mm.
The Farina.
VSG falling off the Farina. I'm still not really sure what I'm reading out of this. I'm going to be entirely honest. I know Team 1 wants that Chaska so bad. They're going to knock out the Risley instead from VSG.
Seriously, bye, Risley.
Bye, Kaizen.
I'm sad, but
They
Bye.
banned Kaizen, unfortunately. It's over.
yeah, I've been summoned to Shadow Realm.
Until next match, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Cardi from Cardi Cup, Miles. Thank you for checking in on us. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We really enjoy having a new audience to bring Genshin Ranked to because, again, it's a game I think that deserves quite a bit of attention. I think there's a lot of potential, both as content creators and as players, for enjoying Genshin Impact in this way. And here we go.
Nahida ban.
VSG saying
Wow.
no to the Farina and Nahida.
Oh, they keep banning Farina and Nahida.
Yeah.
So
just don't like
here's
those
what's
Archons.
so here's what's open. Arley Bennett Shalonen.
yeah,
Oh,
there is.
Pixel Dismissal settling on the Bennett. VSG has to pretty much follow up with an Arlecchino, otherwise that's pretty much... They could follow Arlecchino Linny if they really,
Yeah.
really wanted to. Oh, that's a spicy pick. And the thing is, Arlecchino Linny would be great for the Sun bosses too. VSG might be able to walk away with this one, but it's going to depend on whatever Pixel picks as their counter.
Yeah, I think right now it's very hard to get a same type of support level as Bennett. Like Shiolin is very close though. But
Yeah.
Bennett is just still one of the top must-build support characters to have.
There you go.
Yeah,
Arlecchino.
There's the Arlecchino. When are they going to grab the Linny? Because
Father
I
and
feel like
son.
giving up Linny is also like a really questionable move too, because then you're giving them Bennett Linny, which is
Yeah.
already a really strong core. I mean, like
Not worth it.
regardless, it's good. You're gonna see a strong Pyro core on one side, one way or another.
I definitely do think Pixel's gonna have a better chance the second round though with that Bennett, but we'll
Mhm.
see.
It could be. Let me also point out Pixel doesn't have Linny, so maybe they're leaving that option open for a reason. And VSG locks in Ganyu instead, which is a really clever move. There's a team that showed up during Kaizen's co-op wars, we have now shorthanded the name to Pride Team. The reason is because it is the Linny Ganyu Bennett team, or the LGBT. And it is quite a powerhouse.
Oh, I see.
So they did shut that down. Wait, they went with a overload with Kanish. I think Pixel is cooking
my
something
God.
right now in the kitchen. I think they just grabbed some ingredients from the Middle East and combined them with the South American stuff. And I'm really curious to see what they're going to be able to prepare for us tonight. So Kanish mentions,
I don't want writing cooking. I do not want writing cooking. That's all I gotta
either
say.
this is the greatest cook of all time, or this is the greatest throw of all time, and I can't tell which one it
There's
is.
a mini.
Yeah,
Back.
there it goes, the pyro core.
Could be like a melt on
Yeah.
their end.
Definitely a melt for sure.
Yeah,
It's
they
just-
have to.
They don't have a buffer, but they do have like straight DPS, so it might make up for it.
No Shiloh yet.
Yeah. So no shredders yet, right? No real. I'm not even sure if that team on the left is a real team, but I could definitely be proven wrong. And like, I would not be surprised at all if that were to happen. There we go.
Milani, okay.
Milani,
And
Milani ban
again.
is. I think that's to prevent any like Kanish burn melt or like burn vape. Yeah.
Shiloh got banned.
Yeah, Pixel wants to knock the shredders out of the way for VSG.
Oh, this I got Kaza. Who's gonna get the Kaza?
I mean, this is gonna be a really tough pick. I'm gonna be honest. I know VSG has their first pick right now, but they might, and they just need a buffer. I think that's all it really comes down to. Yeah, there he goes.
Oh. Mhm.
Grabs Kazuha. I think Pixel were banking on either Shiloh or Kazuha being taken, and I think they read that pretty well, and VSG just responded with their surplus character. Kazuha is stronger than Shiloh the way we have things balanced right now, and it is just because that Shiloh can heal. But we did want to give Kazuha some more flexibility or some more dominance. I mean, playing Kazuha well is much harder than playing Shiloh well. The Shiloh is kind of a 3-input character. But here we go. Pixel locking in Yolan now. They have Novelat open still if they want to run a Hydro Core, but they don't have a Shredder for him. So I'm not too sure what the plan is.
You got 4 different elements for Pixel right now. That's very interesting.
Absolutely.
It also depends on what team they're trying to go for too. Because Kanisha's usually good with burning, but with Yolan right like Diona in there now?
Why is different? What is going on here with Diona?
I'm
That's
really
5%.
trying to think. What is Pixel trying to prepare right now? Because they need these wins as soon as possible, right? But with Papilla, I mean Papilla, I guess you could win with Kanish. But this is just like a very What? I wonder what the Diona pick was for.
Maybe nuking, but I don't think they can really nuke with.
Maybe electric. No,
Or
but even
no.
electric. Swanee for sure. Okay, so they sniped the Emily on VSG. This is I mean, it's a smart move, I guess. If you're gonna bank on Arlecchino, Ganyu, and Linny as just your main anchors, right? At this point, you're just using these last picks as steals. And I think Pixel was banking on Emily at some point. Although I don't know why you would draft Diona before Emily is the crazy part.
That might have been an L move unless they have something cooking up with Diona.
Yeah, and there we go. There's another steal. They stole Emily. They stole Novelette. What is Pixel going to have left?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Navia. I don't think without the Shiloh though.
But
That's without the Shiloh.
It's a rainbow team on the other side.
Yeah. They have
look at that.
every element.
Yeah, it's insane.
I wonder.
I mean, the other half's not too different though. They just have 2 pyros and then every other element's the same. I mean, they're different, but yeah.
But it still makes sense that they are able to do either some type of melt on their end or vape. Whereas for PXL, it's the only ones I could see usable is Bennett, Raiden, Kanish, and Yolan. Navia will have to kind of slot in there, but solo Geo will be hard for her getting shrapnel.
Absolutely, yeah. I think if you do solo Navia, you're not getting like perfect DPS out of her.
Yeah, you're gonna have energy problems too.
Yeah, energy problems.
Energy problems.
Unless you
Unless
pair
you're
it up
Raiden.
with Raiden. Yeah.
Yeah, Raiden's the only one that really can save Pixel's energy issues.
So keep this in mind, right? We're thinking about the boss picks right now. If we're thinking straight DPS, Drake probably going to VSG. like Arlecchino, Lenny Ganyu, or Arlecchino, Lenny Kazuo, right? Whatever that team comp is they decide. Drake is probably VSG, so that's gonna put them 5-2. And Pixel is gonna be on Papilla next. They might win Papilla, honestly. I could be crazy, but maybe Kanish Burn is gonna trigger.
Kanish, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then that puts them in a 5-3 situation. PMA, pretty sure PMA goes to VSG, so that makes it 6-3. Swanee is gonna be where the match is decided, I guess. It could be decided on PMA if they lose Papilla, but Swanee will basically decide the outcome of the match. Because if they... What is it? Pixel just needs to win that with Diona, with Bennett. But that's such a tall order. I mean, what are they gonna play?
Even with Diona, like out of all the characters too, she's been heavily like abandoned for quite a while. I mean, she's kind of niche in a lot of teams nowadays too. She doesn't really do damage. She could only do some shield, but even her shield can be paper thin. And the best thing is just healing. But would you really care for healing when it's mainly a DPS check against these boss speedruns?
Yeah, especially like if it comes down to, you know, healing, but you're already so far behind. I don't know. I would just gun it. I wouldn't bother with.
Are they on their prep phase right now?
Right now, Eliza is currently AFK. Will begin. They're gonna start their prep phase. I think their prep time right now. If we want to go ahead and take a peek at that.
Yeah, interesting thing too. There's no Chiori either. There was no Chiori pick at all, even though Chiori was banned in the first round. No, I mean,
yeah,
the first half.
I guess maybe Pixel doesn't have Chiori, so maybe that's why they didn't care about whether or not it was like Chiori plus Navia, you know?
Well, if they lose this match, they might have to wait for Chiori rerun. Build up a Chiori, so they can come ready next time. But hey, they still have a chance.
Hey, surely Burn is a real
away.
concept. Right. Burn is a real concept, right, guys? Right. Surely.
With Kanish, yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see Kanish throw like a fat 146 or something, just with a Ha or something. Like I just really don't know what else they could do. But yeah, here if you notice, left side VSG is gonna experiment a little bit. Joe-Man getting his Mari stacks in, like a responsible Linny player. But observe how fast Monopyro clears. Like it's probably, I would argue, like to some extent, it's gonna be equally as good as was it Arlecchino, Linny, Bennett? I mean, look at that. There's your damage right there.
Yeah, this time they're gonna have Kazuha buff instead of Bennett. But Veridistant is still one of the strongest support let's see, artifacts out there too. Any regarding with elemental increased damage.
I definitely feel like surprised.
I definitely feel like if you're running an emo character, you probably want to run VV. Like especially even Chaska, you want to run VV on Chaska instead of the new Netland set, just because you're just trying to support the team as much as possible. While dishing out damage at the time.
Also remember that Chaska literally gets free infusions, right? So you're guaranteed to get that double swirl no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why Chaska's banned twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pixel was definitely aware of that. They didn't want to see any of that Chaska business. And Chaska is honestly one of the characters that helped TST win in their semifinals match. So she's a useful choice. I think she's a strong utility pick, but you have to like be very considerate about how you want to use her. Yeah, I mean, here we go now. It's just there's a chance that VSG might not win Drake. I don't know if you saw Kaide already went down earlier on Arlecchino. Could have some impact on that mental HP bar as we were talking about earlier.
Hopefully she will be better soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I think since they're just practicing right now, probably trying to figure out the rotations to get around it, so they could secure 2 wins in a row, because that's all they need.
Yeah. Or like not even 2 wins in a row, but just I think as long as they get 2 wins, well, they get 2 wins and then they guarantee an overtime. They get 3 wins and then they are in business for what is it? Just the whole match. But I think they will keep Joe-Man on that Linny. They'll keep Kaide on that Arlecchino. And I guess Swazi is now going to switch over to Kazuha because they did realize that putting Arlecchino and Kazuha on the same player is kind of not the greatest move. This kind of works out. But it looks like they also put Kaide on Ganyu as well. So I guess the whole intention is if they do something like maybe I want to say like a Ganyu Lini Kazuha, that's also technically a team. Although I haven't seen anyone play it well. It's a real team, it's just really difficult to play because you have to ensure that Kazuha never swirls cryo.
Oh,
I want
true.
to see what they're gonna do with that Diona though. 'Cause they did pick up Diona. Is she say a throwaway pick or
I don't
are
think
they
it's a
gonna be
throwaway pick. I think they're actually running it though. That's the wildest part.
I want to see what they're gonna do with her because like this is an insane pick for me to think about.
Well, here
It's
they are. I
something.
mean, like, Eliza has already gone down on Bennett during their prep, so this isn't like really optimal either. But
I
whatever
don't
the
know if it's just
situation
for a
is.
healer, just in case. But I don't think they should be playing safe though. They should be more aggressive, considering the fact that they're down 4 bosses to 2, and I mean they got in this position because I mean they're playing a little bit safer than the VSG in my opinion. The VSG was definitely playing more aggressive, more riskier. That's why they're up 4-2 right now.
Yeah, and honestly, it could be what wins VSG this match. But right now, it looks like that Emily pick was actually intentional, not just a steal, because it helped them clear Electro Hypostasis super fast.
Oh yeah,
here we go.
that's true.
Oh, you know
It's true.
what? You know what technically works is that you can shatter on Swanee, believe it or not, to get it to stun. So I think that's their chance. I think they're gonna. What I'm seeing right now is some variant of a Fridge Hyperbloom comp. And like I'm trying to wrap my head around this too. I think it's a Fridge Hyperbloom comp with a Kanish Shatter for Kanish Shatter to open up the Swanee. So I'm still trying to figure out what they're cooking here, but I think it could be a cook. I'm not denying that there's a realm where it's a viable option. But yeah, here we go. And we're using Kirara for energy generation, which is not something I've considered, but maybe, I don't know. We're just getting ready for our second half right here with VSG already leading 4-2. So, yeah. It's funny. You could definitely bet on this sport too. There's like so many like different things to bet on. You can be like, hey, so who's gonna win first boss, or who's gonna win 4-2 at the half? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna be 3-3 at the half?
And differential betting would be nice too. Like, are they gonna win by this boss by 3 seconds or by 5 seconds?
Ooh, that's
over
true.
under.
Yeah, Genshin Esports is just such a great option. I'm gonna say.
And Arlecchino sitting down on nothing. That's interesting.
Over under 30 seconds Drake. That's always a great one. Well, yeah, I mean you could always.
Oh, a good one would be like, who's gonna die? Oh, the Linny's gonna die.
Oh, that's true. Like number of deaths. Okay, do you think any team's making it through this hit list? That's a real question. Like, is anyone gonna survive without any deaths?
Hit list run. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, looks like Pixel is going to be going first this half, and they're just gonna go ahead and ready up, try and get their characters loaded. And LPSW Novelette, I think LPSW is like probably one of the most common weapons that we have right now for Novelette, because Tome is just way too strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There we go. And Swazi is going to be playing a C1 Emily with Homa. And yet
Yes,
it's still,
Emily.
but it's still dropping like 20, 30k, so you can't even complain about it. That's a funny part. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that turns out. Here we go. Back to where it all begins on Neon Black Drake. Pixel Dismissal are going to have to come back from a 2-4 situation. So what kind of a team are they going to come up with to secure this? Right now,
Are we really gonna see the Diona?
we're going to see it on Swanee for sure. I'm not sure if we're going to see it now, though. That's the big question.
Because they have Kanish, Raiden, and Diona out so far.
But I guess they're committed. Maybe they might go for one more energy gen just for Dragos.
Right, for Raiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird team. Diona.
Okay, there's no way
Raiden?
they're actually going to be playing Diona this early. I feel it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
Diona's
they're
a
might be
200
playing-
EM buffer at C6.
Yeah. I think it's
But
definitely
is
gonna
that
be
better than Bennett? Because Raiden and Kanish both scale off attack, though. So unless they've practiced this team before, I'm not exactly sure if Diona is like the greatest option.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna focus on that Bennett.
I love Novalet energy farming. So efficient.
Yes.
Here we go. Yeah. They have to be switching to Bennett though. Like this, I refuse to believe that they're actually going to use Diona for the EM.
Yeah, like, how could they pick Bennett but not use him? When
Like,
Yeah, I
these
have
first
no idea.
few enemies are gonna be so important.
yeah, because to be down 6-2 is just such a stretch, right? Like, I would be very upset being down 6-2 and then being told, you know what, you still got to come back from that. But hey,
I mean 5-2, right?
or no 6 because like if they lose 2 bosses, then
Oh
they'll
yeah.
really put them in a bad spot, and it's likely that if they're not running an optimal team. But Eliza decides anyways
Yep.
to opt for the Bennett. So
There it
okay,
is.
maybe okay. So I wasn't
This looks better.
crazy.
That's a way better. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, Pixel is pulling some interesting combinations together, so here we go. Bennett mixing together Japanese and Mexican food to try and cook up something new. I don't know if they... I'm like really hoping that this is a real team. Somehow, maybe everybody has just overlooked it collectively, but also have a very strong inkling it's not going to be what they want. So, I don't know. Pixel Dismissal is... They might just play the complete opposite of the way they played last half, you know? Maybe they lose the first 2 and then come back on the next 4 and we go to overtime.
It would be the comeback of the century.
True.
They're doing mind games with the Diona, because that's all I could focus on right now.
But, I mean, like, it's so intentional because it came up so early. That's the thing that I'm trying to put together. Alright, here we go. Weapons check has been cleared. Or they're in the process of clearing weapon check real quick. So it's one of these like things we do just like for player verification to make sure everything's like all good.
Yeah, of
Yep.
course. Gotta
We
make
do the same
sure
thing in co-op wars,
the
yep.
rules, yeah.
Co-op wars
Yeah.
have to check
It's
the
just-
weapons, characters, yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no way to visually distinguish between an R1 and an R5 weapon, but you know, we check the thing spontaneously when we can.
Yeah, it's important.
You know, I hate to say, let me get Fav Noel. I'm running R5 Fav on Bennett. Could be a safe move, honestly. You know, Fav for this team makes a lot of sense because you want to keep Aha up all the time. I think it's better than trying to force Bennett into DPS role. I think just keeping his utility there to make sure everyone's getting their ultimate, it's going to be the better move.
True.
Hmm.
'Cause
Engulfing R2. Yep. Everything looks like it's set. Kiki once again. But I think they should do ready check pretty soon.
I think they're trying to get the angle.
Actually no, I don't think they're getting anything. I think they're really just trying to make sure that the weapons are coherent with each other because we just do not start. We're not gonna like start and restart a match. The character doesn't or a player doesn't have like the weapon set up correctly.
Oh, maybe it wasn't updating on their profile then. Is that why they also left the world?
Yeah, it happens.
Good old co-op.
I know, right?
Keep rejoining. I wonder if anyone's done like a Witsith setup, like they try to get the right exact Witsith buff that they want.
Oh, yeah. So that is like actually a real thing. But hey,
Not surprised. They did the same thing in Abyss. So
the thing is that like for Witsith, we intentionally make sure that people don't try to just spam that tech over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Although it technically is it's an interesting strat to be like, hey guys, we're gonna reset until we get the EM buff for my Yaibiko. Please.
yeah, they did the same thing for Raiden boss. I remember in Co-op Wars, they were hoping to get the sword Raiden, not the spear Raiden.
Oh right, yeah. And I remember you guys used to reset for that. Okay, anyways, finally. Now we're here on field. And Eliza's gonna save that Bennett ult for the big moment. Drops it still a little early, and there's Aha. And drops a fat 232 onto the field. Wait, this is a cook after all. I think this burn overload here is actually a functional team. And Eliza has that second ult, decides to use it too. And Aha, now again, there we go. Kiki's going to go ahead and throw down that Q. And it's not going to be a perfectly sub 30 clear, but it's powerful. It's strong, and the 32 clear is still really impressive.
Wow, really fast.
That's a statement right there. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
I take it back. Maybe, you know, considering that this is going to be only a Kazuha for a buffer, I think they could go very well like head to head with each other.
Yeah, what was it again? 32.8
It was like 32.3, I think.
3?
From what at least that's what I saw, but
yeah,
regardless.
that was a super strong Kanish.
If it comes down to like the video review, the frame count, like, we'll do it. No questions asked. But dang, that is something really impressive. Anyway, Kaida here gonna dive in with Arlequin to try and get that bond set up early. So as he goes for the Pyro Swirl, and Freedom Sworn is up for everybody, and so is the Drake. As Linny is able to manage a few stacks and just walks in with the E and walks in with the Q. Should do a nice hit of, I think that was about 80k or so, and they have some consistent DPS, but honestly, they're matching pace. This is going to be a really close match, but if VSG are able to keep this DPS consistent, which Arle still has to reabsorb that bond to do, wait, I think it's going to be a very close call, because now at 31 seconds, VSG actually don't secure the Drake, and they lose it to the Raiden Kanish Bennett team.
By 2 seconds.
Wow. Oh, now that is going to be an interesting situation to be in now as VSG. I mean, this was supposed to be one of your free bosses.
Wait, what constellation was that Kazuha again?
I think that Kazuha was, it was looking like a C, at most it would have been a C2R1. I saw Freedom Sworn on it, so it has to be, I think, a C2 at most. It can't be a C6, but dang.
Oh, VSG's 4 boss streak ended.
Yeah.
So now
I don't know if they're going to be shaken by that or not, just because...
Yeah,
man,
they still have
Arlecchino Linny is just such a powerhouse, and to see it not really live up to its expectation, ooh, that's going to make the match really interesting.
It might have been the Bennett diff.
It could have been, honestly, yeah. Maybe just not having Bennett there all the time is just...
Yeah, because he is just such a good support, but with Kazuha running in and out, there wasn't much that he could provide for extra damage besides just extra swirling. And whereas here, usually Bennett will help with the damage too, instead of just kiting around the enemy. But against Papilia...
He's helping out with the heals too, because man, they almost took like a massive stack of damage, but Kiki now pulling out the Kanisha now is ready for it. Look at the burn and how fast it clears that HP bar. I think that's going to definitely give them an advantage when it comes to this clear time.
Sure.
Beautiful, beautiful work. Oh, that speed of the clear is insane. And they're going to knock that out with 33.
Beautiful, beautiful. 33-second clear.
And that's going to be quite a tall order for VSG to try and match.
VSG's got to respond, though. I mean, they were
Oh, they immediately
know.
switched off the Kazuha now. I'm moving on to Emily instead.
Yeah, I guess they're aware that they need that burning, right? I think they saw
Yeah.
how Kanush would affect the burn, and they just said, hey, you know what? We're gonna try and fight them at their own game, so I guess.
I actually think VSG might get this one. Okay, I think they played Emily correctly. They might, but who knows? That was a pretty fast kill. It was 33 seconds. So
Yep.
Yeah, it
We'll
was
see.
33-41.
341.
Yeah, and
Okay.
who knows? It could honestly become a really close call. I
We'll
think
see,
for what
we'll
it's
see.
worth, like it's just like a very like uncommon team to like come up with an idea for drafting, right? But they knew
Mhm.
what they were doing. Like it's just I'm overall just super impressed with how things are turning out. Unfortunately for
Yeah, this
VSG,
one-
this RNG is not ideal either. I mean, none of the bosses that came up were the ones that they wanted.
Yeah, and they were playing
And
super far
oh man,
away in the
VSG
beginning.
is gonna be in a little bit of a tough position now as the match is gonna end up being tied. They're gonna have to finish out this Papilla. Surely
they
Lenny's
have
sitting backline as far
strong-
as he can, trying to play passive, but I'm not sure if they're still in the. I can't tell if they're still in the boss fight or not, or if they're DNFing. It's kind of a hard angle to tell, but yeah, I don't think they ran back in. I think they called it. They DNF'd a
Yeah.
48-18 and 48-16. I mean, they knew.
Wait, so now PXL tied it up already?
Yeah, we got ourselves a match now.
This is a real match, yeah, for sure.
Yep. It's best out of 3 at this point. Best out of
It
3.
gets much more intense. Pixel's cooks are just so fun. I mean, they come up with real silly stuff all the time, and you know they don't play the game the same way that a lot of people think of the meta.
I bet I meant best out of 5. Well, everyone's 3 first.
Here we go.
From here on out.
PMA.
wins it, so we'll see.
Man, this is gonna be quite the exciting matchup we have right now. But it's gonna be Yolan, Bennett, and Navia, and
Yeah, I'm
none of these
surprised at the
characters.
Navia.
Yeah, none of
being
these
out
characters like
here.
perfectly synergize with each other. So it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle to try and get a perfect clear time. But who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe the individual builds, maybe that individual DPS is really gonna make every player shine on field.
Yeah, because at least Bennett and Yolong could do some chip together with their reaction, but all the heavy hitting will rely on Navia.
And I mean, it does. They managed to get the cycle in at 30 seconds. It's not going to be the fastest PMA clear time by any metric, but it is relatively on pace.
Oh wait, they got
And-
the good one too. with
Yeah,
Got a
the
good one, yeah.
Dorito.
Got a good Dorito.
Oh,
Navia
wrong
shotgun
direction,
blasted
though.
for 110, but unfortunately, it does jump away quite far.
Oh,
They're gonna
the
have to
chip
go
damage
for
at the end.
yeah, they're gonna go for a finish here.
Yolong
and
were so
everybody's-
far away.
Yeah, the mispositioning is going to be a little problematic for Pixel, but
Yeah,
regardless, there we go. 57-51 is gonna come in.
almost 1 minute.
Yep. And here we go. Back to the other side.
Oh,
VSG.
back to Kazuha too. on Sweet
Yeah,
Sweet.
VSG are gonna have to prove themselves because if they don't, it could be a little bit of a situation.
Yeah, they gotta make sure to win at least one of the next 2. For sure. You don't want to lose the next 2.
Yeah, and here they go. Ready as they can be. VSG about to take on PMA to try and secure a lead in this 4-4 match. Here we go with the Arlecchino entering again. Kind of getting bounced up early, and I mean, like, Mono is just such an easy comp to play, and yeah,
Mhm.
they know. they definitely know. Their damage is definitely there. Lenny gets a nice
Ooh,
100k
Wow.
off.
100k, beautiful.
And that's the kind of output that we need from a team like this in this time. But yeah, VSG, they're not giving up easy. You know, those last 2 bosses might have been free, but again, I think VSG is still staying in the
Wait,
game.
that's
And
They
also
also
a
got the Dorito.
pick, but I don't think they
Double
got the
Dorito.
positioning right.
Yeah,
I think they're just
here.
like barely on it.
Yeah.
Arlecchino almost gets knocked down, but unfortunately for Pixel, this Arlecchino is going to stay in the fight with that ultimate, and that
Good
clear time is going to be a
Kazuha.
41.
Yeah, good
Nice.
Kazuha burst too. They managed to get this one after losing 2 earlier.
Yeah.
That was a much needed win for
Hmm
VSG for sure.
Yeah, that was
Now
much
they got
better.
that lead. Pressure's on Pixel right now to win this one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, see if Pixel could clap back at
Oh
that.
no, the
Oh,
Diona.
wait, Diona?
Yep, here's the Diona. I'm telling you, it has to be Diona for Shatter. That's my only
Yeah.
understanding of this, is that this is going to be a forced Hyper Bloom because Swanee has innate Hydro. You're playing Raiden, Kanish, who are both playing like EM builds, right? That's like my only way I could think about this. And it's possible. I'm not putting it past them because there's just still like a very real possibility that this works. We just have to see it.
I don't have too much experience with this boss. I completely forgot about it when it came out.
Oh, this boss has a really fun opening phase that catches a lot of people off guard. I remember there was a event I did with Hoyo Cafe, and it was really interesting because it wiped a lot of people, especially when you run Bennett. Swanee is super aggressive and will vape you really fast. But anyways, here's the setup right now. Looks like it's going to be, Diona Q, Kanish E, and Raiden Q E combo. And maybe I'm right. Maybe it does cook. But oh no, Kiki and Drago are unfortunately down.
Oh,
And that is going to cost them that round for sure.
Was
Yeah.
that
No
a
shot.
one-shot?
That was the one shot. It was
Fiona
exactly as
clutch.
I was calling for, but
Oh,
I think
no.
Eliza here might try and stay in the fight. Maybe just draw it out for the DNF time. We do happen to make it so it's like, survive for 3 minutes.
I
counts
guess
as a-
maybe Diona
yeah.
was there for the shield, hoping to survive against that, but
But yeah,
oof,
that's
that
just
was
so unfortunate
fast.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, again, in like the blink of an eye, right? Something like that changes just because, you're out of position just by 1 or 2 steps, and then, yeah, that boss really gets you. They wanted to play aggressive on it, you can tell. Like, they were trying to commit to it earlier, and that's how it was, like, going to end, but regardless,
That's a
Eliza,
yikes.
I think they're going to call an automatic 3-minute DNF, I think, from what I can tell. I think refs have called an automatic 3-minute DNF because Diana's a healer who
Yeah.
can run in circles infinitely, and I think
Can survive based on her own heals too with her burst.
It's insane
But she
though.
doesn't have the damage.
Oh, but I
How
mean,
did the Raiden and the Kanish die? The Diona provides shield. She gives healing.
but
She can freeze them.
here's the thing: Swanee does like, again, 15. Swanee's one of these bosses that does 15 to like 17k damage. It's a lot, and both Raiden and Kanish are pretty squishy. So even with extra heals, right? If you're on partial HP, you just kind of get deleted, and I think that's exactly what happened right there.
Oh, Kaide switching
Yeah.
to Ganyu instead of Arlecchino too.
Yep, I guess they want that melt really badly, but regardless, I mean, 3-minute DNF is all that VSG really has to beat.
Yeah.
And,
You're
I mean,
playing
like,
at a
realize-
distance instead of close range too.
Swezzy gets a little close
Okay.
there, goes and almost gets tied for 10k, but it's not going to stop them. VSG have fully committed to this bit, and they are aware of what's going to happen next. They get that Linny in position, they get that Ganyu in position, and that Kazuo is going to VV swirl
All
for
they
the
need
both
to
of
do
them.
is kill, right? They don't need
Yeah.
to worry about the time.
They really don't. Yeah, considering
Yeah.
that Pixel has already basically forfeited their right to winning, but look at this comp. I mean, it's so safe, right?
Yeah, they're playing
Kazuo
at
only
a
has to be in
distance,
there,
yep.
like, and Kazuo only needs to be there like once every 8 seconds.
Lots
And
of
then-
melt damage by both.
Yeah. That's just gonna be a knockout right there. Yeah,
Wow.
VSG is gonna take the 6th.
Safe and clean.
So now Pixel
I
having
like-
to come back with 2 left.
I definitely like the Linny Ganyu comp. It's just really safe, and they're both squishy characters. Don't get me wrong, but pretty safe comp, especially against a boss like that you can just
Yeah.
outrange. And they can just aggro on one of your other teammates.
Yeah, and earlier I guess with Raiden and Kanish having to play so close with the enemy, they just got one shot.
So I guess now it comes down to Electrocube, right? But does, like, what's a comp that Pixel has for Electrocube though? I mean, you can't play Raiden anymore. I assume you can still get the EM buff for Kanish, but what if they play a Kanish hyper carry? What if they?
Yeah, they're gonna-
But they can't do that because Eliza's on Diona and Bennett, so maybe that doesn't work. But okay, they're
Navia.
committing. Okay, this works. I can see this working. You're Bennett buffing Navia. You're getting the burn technically set up for Kanish. You're getting a lot of overload, and it's gonna mix a bunch of stuff together.
Yeah, but would it be faster than double pyro Emily though? That's the question.
Double Pyro Emily is
Yeah, because the other half, PSG has the 2 pyros.
Oh right, yeah. No, I think the Emily honestly is gonna take it. It's gonna come down to this right now. We're here at match point.
Yeah, I think when they were
Yep.
practicing earlier was really fast.
But yeah, this is like the match that pretty much, well, at this point, every point is going to be match point.
Yep.
Going up until the grand finals.
They have to win all three, man. Yeah, Pixel has to win 3 in a row. 2 in a row and then overtime. So all the pressure's on them right now. But hey.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, there's a certain like threshold. Like, you shake hands and just say have a good show, and I think that's really what it comes down to right now. They've done whatever they can. Either as long as they try their best, you know, they either won it or they didn't. There's only two outcomes.
They should only just go full aggressive at this point. That's really what they've been missing in this whole match. If I'll be honest, especially that first half. I feel like they need to be aggressive. They have no other choice. I mean, this is literally the boss that decides the match, pretty much. Unless, you know, the next 3 bosses, if they manage to beat this one and the next one.
What do you guys think? You think Pixel can walk away with it?
We'll
so
see.
tough. Yeah.
We'll see right now.
Yeah, they just have to. I don't know. That's not the greatest RNG because Bennett's buff isn't going to hit that. But I think they might. Oh, they're not even going to bother committing to it yet. They're going to wait it out, and now they're going to all in. So that's going to be a little bit of a time loss. But let's see if they're able to get it. I don't think Kanish has the raw DPS to do it though. 200.
Wait,
maybe he does. Maybe that third shot does clutch it up for them. And here we go. Navia again ults on field to try and get help everywhere that she needs to be. Bennett thankfully C6, so grabs a little bit of the pyro. Kiki catches onto that and lands at E, so it's going to be a competitive time.
Holy crap. That was so unexpected. What was that
Kiki
melt earlier?
honestly is doing an incredible job keeping this team alive.
Maybe we were wrong about Kanish the whole time.
Yeah, maybe we just haven't seen Kanish played well enough, and I think this is just good Kanish gameplay.
And
I
he
say
was using his best in slot weapon too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it's like a C0R1 Kanish with Bennett, so it's like it's fair game. I mean,
that's so cracked out.
It's spicy, and I think they're aware of that when they went into this draft.
Maybe there is a chance for a comeback?
Right? There has to be. And here we go. Arlecchino, Linny, and Emily trying to fight back against a 33-second time, and I think they could do it. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 moves, and it's perfectly set up for them. They have their ultimates, they have all the damage they want, and Joe Man goes in with that Q, and I don't know if it's going to kill it in time. They're definitely chipping it down, though.
Okay, it's going.
And I think they are in fact a little ahead of pace. I think right here with all the electro particles left on field, I'm very sure that VSG will win and move on to the grand finals.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow, that was so close though.
Amazing job. Congratulations.
Absolutely phenomenal job.
Amazing job by
both teams played their hearts out. And VSG is going to be the one that advances for that. So overall, incredible work. We have a little win card and everything.
Congratulations, yeah. I will definitely say that Swanee mishap definitely costed so the match, but I definitely do think they had the right idea. They just didn't really get what they wanted. But hey, congratulations to VSG.
Very
did an
Scuffed
amazing job.
Gamers.
And
yeah,
you deserve this win for sure.
Wow. I think again it got close. Yeah, it got close. You're right, Cardi.
Because, between these two, we thought one team had an advantage in the beginning, and then the other one came back, and then at the second half, it was same thing again. I was like, oh, we didn't know where it could turn around, and they were showing up with impressive comps with the teams. The Kanish was definitely a crowd winner, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's... And do you want to talk to the teams too, by the way, and see what they were thinking?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so for sure, I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody moved into the little post-match lounge that we have over here because it's gonna be pretty fun. I'm gonna listen to everybody and see what they're thinking.
Did you wait guys? Did you check the audience chat? I was like, Joman told me in front of freaking Electrocube, hey, run BB and Arlecchino, and I'm like, what?
Where do we begin? Hello, chat.
Hi, chat.
All right, it's all right, everybody. So first off, First off, I wanted to say that was a well-played match between both teams. I think
well
Pixel
played.
Pixel put on their A game.
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
one Swanee decided to kind of end that streak.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, man.
our issue
That
was
was
that they
insane.
kind of banned us out of all of our options by banning not Nahida Farina. That was the one thing that we were like, while we were like planning things out, we were like, if they ban Nahida Farina, we're just screwed. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and then
I'm actually also another thing is the beginning of the second game. We were very surprised that you ended up banning Riley because that was actually going to be our first ban.
yeah, we were planning on
really?
banning
You guys were
Riley.
gonna ban
Dude,
Yeah.
we were talking so much. We were going like a Chaska Bennett, like a Chaska Ray, like yeah, we were planning to
See,
draft
the thing
a
about
lot.
banning
No,
Bennett
because,
was that we were too scared that
you-
that would like screw us out of more of our team options.
we have like
Alright.
3 teams, so you
So-
guys like effectively banned us out of basically all of them. So good game, yeah.
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 have
So
a-
I
I
have
do
a
have a-
question for Joe Man. So, basically, were you just anchoring around like your pyro comp for most of the entire match?
Well,
Like, it
yeah, that's
seemed
what
like you
we
were-
ended up going with. That was
You-
like not at all the plan, but that is pretty much how it worked.
know.
Having
I don't know,
Lenny
we were-
when they don't have Lenny is so powerful. It like
Yeah.
it enables you to third pick him every time if they don't ban it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
so it's really nice.
But you guys do
got
realize
it
though
too,
that
Vinny.
like your upcoming rivals, the Sanus Travelers in the grand finals, they're gonna have every character as well. So you can't just bank
Yeah.
on having that Linny
Exactly.
all the
We
time.
can't.
Yeah. Well, the
Well,
thing
that's-
is, we were mainly like banking like before the match, like we were banking on like a burn melt comp as well, like taking advantage
Yeah.
of like
Well, yeah, it was pretty funny hearing you guys talk
Swanee.
about our Emily steal pick, because the thing is, we took it for us. We did not take it as a steal pick. We just wanted Emily because we had been practicing a lot with Emily. Emily has been pretty good.
yeah, like we were playing a lot of like Gone burn melt like Emily.
And
I will say that Kanish
Here's
and Emily
another-
both have been putting on like a really good show for us as well. I think the output that we've been
Mhm.
seeing from those two characters is actually quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I also do want to turn the mic over to Pixel. You guys carried yourselves really far throughout this tournament. I think you guys did a very impressive job for your first showing in any competitive Genshin scene. I mean, like how do you guys feel? Like Eliza, I mean, you were the one drafting. How's everything going?
Well, I forgot you can counterpick, so it could have gone better. Because I was like, we could, so because we have one Linny, but he's illegal. We can't use him. He's C2. So if I had remembered, like, I wasn't sure if we could have picked like an illegal character to counterpick, but if I probably should have checked that before the match. But if I had known, then I think our second half of the first round draft could have been better. But honestly, we have so few teams that like I did not expect us to even get past the first round because it's mostly my account being really bricked.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about having bricked accounts, so it's not entirely impossible. I mean, you have a good team with you, right? I think Kiki and Drago are both doing a phenomenal job as well. I mean, Kiki, with that, honestly, that Kanish build is great, man. Keep it up, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing that 232 pop out, hey, all the power to you. You guys did an absolutely fantastic job, and we'd love to
Kiki
have you guys
feeds-
around again.
Kiki feeds Kinich frosted flakes every morning. That's how he does it.
I get him a lot of love.
Yeah,
Another
but-
thing
not-
is about another thing about our team is we weren't actually originally weren't going to go for mono pyro like at all.
We were not. That was
However,
not our plan.
that
at
was
all.
not expected.
Like no, and then another part of that reason is because the last match when I was sitting out, I rolled this insane Arlecchino flower, which made mine better than German, and then we had like a perfect team. We had like a
Yeah.
perfect mono
For
pyro team
today.
just because of that.
Yeah, for the match.
Yeah.
Like during that
Um,
match,
I
like
was
that was
first.
actually crazy.
So, the first half, I think that we kind of screwed ourselves out of one of our own boss picks, EFG, by trying to counterpick the Geo, and I think that we might have realized that a little too late because we kind of used up most of our options on that, and then we were like, well, if we want to use another option, we kind of have to force one of our characters onto another person whose build isn't as good or doesn't have as much investment. So
Yeah,
it
I
was-
think our main strategy for the whole draft, like the whole thing it revolved around, was make them choose between Arlay and Bennett every time, and then if they choose Bennett, make sure they have no Bennett options. So that was why we wanted to ban Risley. That's why we wanted to, like, they didn't have Linny, so we figured that was probably a pretty good plan, and I think it ended up working pretty well.
Oh, for sure.
Can,
Very
can I
surprised.
explain the Diona cook really quickly?
Yeah, okay,
Oh my
Draco, go
goodness,
ahead.
yes, please.
Cardi
Okay, so-
definitely wants to know, like, what's the Diona cook here?
Okay, so when using Diona with a C2 Nahida and a Chlorand in our own testing against Swanee, we got three 36-second times, and that is extremely fast for Swanee. And we were kind of amazed at that, so we were basically trying to be like, oh, maybe without a C2 Nahida and maybe without Chlorand it might be good, but it ended up not really working too well. I think maybe if we had done Chlorand Hatham Diona, it would have worked a little bit better, but then we also were like, well, we have Bennett open, and if we leave Bennett open, then they're going to get Bennett Arla, which is going to screw us over, because we were basically hoping to get to retry, and then afterwards it was like, well, if we get to retry, they have Bennett, Arla, Ganyu, Linny, all the good picks, and we have Navia, Raiden.
Well, if I do have to be honest, I think that the Kanish Raiden, I think it actually did do a pretty substantial amount of early damage.
We
Like,
were scared about it. We underestimated
had
that.
potential.
On the bosses where it was able to burn, it was a very fast team, but then we got to like 3 bosses in a row where we couldn't really burn, so it was kind of unfortunate. And even with having, like, on the reason why we did Navia on PMA was because we weren't sure how good Kinich grapple would be and how good my Raiden gameplay would be on that.
Grapple can feel very weird on some bosses, and I am also like a mobile player, so.
Well, the good news is that everybody participating in this match still has one more match to play for a prize, because you guys will still be advancing to a 3rd place match that's going to be happening, I believe, next Friday. Pixel, you are going to be advancing to your 3rd place match versus Touchgrass together, and VSG, you guys are going to be facing off against the legendary, the Sanus Travelers, in their 20th match for the grand finals.
Yeah.
Good luck in the finals.
Yeah, good luck in the finals.
Good luck in the finals, gentlemen. Good luck in the
finals. All right, everybody. So I'm Cuddles, and today I was here with Kaizen and Cardi, and it's been a pleasure having both of you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. We look forward to seeing you guys around in the future, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you guys.
Bye, Chad.
Bye,
Good job, everyone.